So here's a little bit of the follow-up, what I'm going to do with this channel. I'm going to try to focus in on what it is that I say is most important to me and what my priorities are. I've been doing the community garden thing, or trying to, for many years. And I've worked at basically 3 different ones. And the one that lasted the longest, at least my involvement in it, was the one that I had total control over. Call me a control freak. The other 2, just too many differences in philosophy, ethics, principles, goals. It is what it is. Now, here's the thing. Before I go out, normally what I would do is I would kind of cut those ties, burn that bridge, and then go try to find another garden, some more land, you know, in the city limits someplace where the people are, and start all over and see if I could get something going there. And obviously that's not working. Now, in doing that, I'm also taking time away from other efforts that I purport are important to me. Caring for my parents, which takes an inordinate amount of time and energy, and working on my own property. I am standing on my own property outside of town. I have a little over 6 acres here. It was totally wooded, other than a utility easement. I got enough to keep me busy here. Everything that I want to do and try and learn about and experiment with and teach, I can do here. The only thing that's difficult doing here that I can do better in town is be in the middle of the population and be more convenient to other people. However, obviously, like I said, that's not working. So I'm going to focus on this property. I'm going to put my time, my effort into this. There is a good chance, almost a given, that at some point in the future, don't know exactly when, I will inherit conventional commercial row crop farmland, quite a bit. And I'm already been thinking about what I want to do with that, how I want to keep it in agriculture, but a more ethically based agriculture. So I've got that on my mind, and that's why a lot of what I'm learning with the purpose and with the goal of, okay, learn it on small scale and then expand it to large scale. I still like the idea of the community garden. I still want to do community gardening in some way. But before I go try to get land or find another lot, I need to find people, because that's the hard part. I've said that for years. When it comes to community gardening, the gardening's the easy part, the community's the hard part. So, I am looking for people. Not a lot of people. Maybe 3. 3 be fine. 5, probably about the upper end. Who are truly of like mind. Who know what permaculture is. Preferably, they finished a permaculture design course. Not required at this point, but at least know what permaculture is. I haven't gone through it myself yet. I want to look at it before I formally recommend it. But at this point, knowing his other work and having been through one of his courses, I would encourage you to look at Jack Spirico of the Survival Podcast. He has got, I believe, a free, maybe 5-hour introduction to permaculture. And I bet it's going to be pretty good. So it's free, it's not too long. It does not make you a permaculturalist. It gives you an introduction. At some point I may try to do my own little intro course or something. But I'm going to focus on this property. This building is a 16 by 28 bald eagle that I had customized, and then I'm finishing out for the purpose of being a classroom, a library, not a public library, a private library, and a microscopy lab. So this will be my home base. If I can find those 3 to 5 people, this is where we can meet. This is where we can do classes with each other. This is where maybe, if there's enough of us, we can bring knowledgeable people in. And then once we've got that core of people and that common language, then if it makes sense, we can go try to find land to do another community garden. So I'm gonna go inside here, and it's rough right now because I'm still building it out. I've been building it out while I've been doing the other garden and all the other stuff. So at that end, I've got, that's where my computers and microscopes and stuff are going to be. Now you see there is power. This building and this property is off grid. The only thing that's really on grid is the internet, and I have that. It is not fiber, it is not land-based, but this is off grid, and I'm still building that system out. It is a substantial system. I have a little bathroom here, and it has a composting toilet. There's a little kitchen sink in it, or a little sink in it for washing your hands. And that's what I'm working on right now, is plumbing that and a little kitchenette sink here. I've got a 50-gallon RV water tank there that I will be sourcing water, appropriate water for. A little RV pump that'll provide the water pressure, and the drain. The drain will be going to, since it's gray water, it's not going to be black water, okay? It is gray water. Washing your hands, maybe washing out a cup or something like that, that's it. It will go to a branch drain system, and or eventually maybe a reed bed, as is used many places in the world. Very permaculture kind of thing to do. Jeff Lawton got a lot of information on that, but basically it's ways of treating gray water biologically, which, by the way, if anybody says you can't treat gray water or even black water biologically, do some actual research on your municipal water treatment system. While they may use chemicals and filters, those lagoons, a big part of the system is biological, okay? And I don't have people putting bleach and drugs and brake fluid and all that kind of crap down this drain. The soap that I use, it's not just, it's beyond biodegradable. It doesn't just break down into something that doesn't damage the environment. It actually breaks down into plant food. It's bioavailable. It's called Oasis. So as a nurse, I'm doing everything I can with all my knowledge and all the continued studying that I'm doing to ensure everything is safe and healthy for the population being served by these systems. This building is very well insulated, very well insulated. I will eventually put a mini split in here. May have a small propane system in case it gets really, really cold. The only thing not insulated is the floor, but that'll be next year. But yeah, and then I've got 6.5 acres here to play with. I have already got a small mushroom yard. I'll be doing more land earthworks and stuff as appropriate based on permaculture principles. I have finished, I completed a permaculture design course through Oregon State University some years ago. So I am qualified to teach and talk about permaculture. I have finished a recognized program, one of probably the only ones based at a university or through a university, because one of the founders, Bill Mollison, absolutely did not want permaculture in the hands of academia because, and I believe him and I agree with him, that they would ruin it. It's a completely different kind of system. But I'm also finishing another permaculture design course with Jeff Lawton, who was a direct student and co-teacher with the founder, Bill Mollison. So he's probably the premier permaculture person on the planet right now, and I'm finishing his course. I've done the coursework part. I'm working on my design, and I'm using this property as the design property. But yeah, I've got a whole lot of work to do. This land is bisected by a utility easement, and for the most part, I'm leaving half of it as untouched as I can. And I'm starting small here on the back, kind of up high. And as I get this area kind of set up, about, and rocking the way it should, then I'll go to the next level, I do have, at least in mind, orchards, food forest, a pond, which may or may not be a traditional pond. It may have chinampa style things in it, and if you don't know what these are, that's part of doing your learning some permaculture stuff. There will be trees coming down. Okay, I guess my camera cut off in the middle of what I was saying, so I'm just going to post a picture here of one of my favorite books. It's a farm over in France using a lot of these principles and stuff. Anyway, so basically what I'm trying to say is I'm looking for 3 to 5 people who either already know some or are serious about learning about food production based on permaculture ethics and principles. And once we kind of develop that relationship, know we're on the same page, looking for the same goals, things of that nature, that way it's not just one person against the world, then we can either continue on the property that I have, maybe use their property, or if it makes sense, try to find another property that's more accessible to the general population and use that as a launching pad to teach other people and to spread these practices of how to grow actual healthy food, nutrient dense food, not just high calorie food, without chemicals, without the synthetic fertilizers, kind of along the lines of if you remember the original movie of the Karate Kid, and the whole philosophy in that movie of the karate is how to work with momentum, how to redirect what is already in place and work with it rather than fighting against it. In this case, nature. Nature's been gardening a little longer than we have. So maybe if we start working with nature and learning from nature, whether in whatever you want to call that, in whatever belief system you want to scope that into, then we can probably get more abundance easier. And but yeah, so if you're interested, get in touch with me through this channel. Leave a message, leave a direct message or whatever, and let's make contact and let's see if we click, and let's go from there. Obviously I can keep myself busy, but I would very much like to find some people to work with and look towards the future. Thank you.